Movement breaks are just as essential to a child's ability to learn that which we want them to learn as is sitting to learn. If you find yourself telling a child to, hey, sit down, be quiet, keep your hands to yourself, do this, do that, particularly children with ADHD, and even if the child doesn't have a diagnosis, that child is meant to move. Allow them to move in order to prime their brain for learning. So there's two types of movement I want to talk about, whether you're homeschooling or you are a classroom teacher. When you're thinking about movement breaks, you want to think about, do I want this child to increase their attention span? So that would be for a child who kind of zones out, a child that may be a daydreamer. That child's likely going to need a little bit of stimulation. So they might not look like they have ADHD, but yes, when a child has a hard time focusing or they zone out, they often need more stimulation to create an alertness level in the brain. That type of child might do well with what's called vestibular input. Vestibular input is the type of input in our sensory systems. We have all these different sensory systems, but two we're talking about today. Right now we're talking about vestibular. The vestibular system tells us where our body is in space. If you close your eyes and you tilt your head back, you do not have to open your eyes for your brain to know that your head was tilted back. That is your vestibular system. It has to do with being dizzy, has to do with balance. A lot of people, as they get older, they struggle with that vestibular system. We want to use that vestibular system to increase attention in kids who are having a hard time. Maybe they're getting tired, maybe they're getting exhausted. How do we do that? We move the head through space. How do we do that? Handstands, inverted yoga poses, going on the swings, riding their bicycles, going on a scooter. That movement through space will release histamine, which increases attention. Or do I need my child to calm down? Is my child so hyped up? Now, I'm a more hyperactive ADHDer. That person or that child might need something to help calm and release that extra energy that's in their system. So, of course, exercises and movement is fantastic, but if the other type of movement is proprioceptive input. The proprioceptive system is the system in your body that is impacted by pressure, deep pressure, the joints, okay? Think of deep pressure on the joints. Think of a massage. That deep pressure you get from a massage releases serotonin in the brain, which calms the body and the brain. So, what type of proprioceptive activities could you do to help your child focus better and calm so that they can hear what you want them to hear? Anything that requires deep pressure. I've had videos about this before, about making couch sandwiches. You can go back and watch that one, which you literally just, if you're at home homeschooling, you take a cushion off your couch, you put your child on the cushion, then you take the other cushion and you put the cushion on top of your kid and you sit on it. Basically, obviously you do this only if it's safe to do. You know your child, you know your body, you know what's appropriate. But by giving them that deep, deep pressure, that helps release that serotonin, which calms the body and the brain and helps them to re-regulate and focus in. Another activity, I love to lift weights. So lifting weights is a great idea. You have a little child, put a backpack on with tons and tons of heavy books to give them that pressure. Give them squeezes. If you go to my website, aheartforallstudents.com, I have tons of resources and tons of suggestions for different sensory tools and toys and emotional regulation activities that you can use to help provide the brain and the body with that proprioceptive input. Push-ups are fantastic. Deep, deep hugs are fantastic. Shoulder squeezes, give them squishy balls to help them get that deep pressure. Chewing gum is the best thing ever. Every school should be allowing children to have chewing gum. We've got to get over the ban on chewing gum. It is fantastic for providing proprioceptive input in a very cheap, non-intrusive way. There's so many ways to incorporate movement into your homeschool and into your child's education. Therefore, you are supporting the whole person. You're allowing them to thrive as a whole person, and you're increasing access to the part of the brain that's required to learn and process information. So, what do you think? Got any questions? Ask your questions. Go to aheartforallstudents.com, and I can't wait to get to know you and hear your story. It's important that we remember that movement matters.